the first theory which we had discussed, okay, the first theory which we had discussed was the Rutherford's model, okay, and one of the major drawback of Rutherford's model theory was that it was unable to explain the hydrogen spectrum. It was unable to explain the occurrence of those fine lines spectrum, okay. Now then Bohr, after many decades, so Bohr presented his model of an atom, okay. So according to Bohr's model of an atom, what were the postulates? What were the postulates? Let us see. Let us see one by one. Okay. So, according to Bohr's theory, okay, an electron again revolves around the nucleus in certain circular fixed orbits. Okay. So, here, okay, so yes, if I ask you this simple question, suppose in Rutherford's model we have a positively charged nucleus. Okay, and around the nucleus, electrons revolve around the nucleus. Yes, we have learned that. So if I ask you, what are the trajectories or what are the path followed by the electrons? Or how many paths are there between the outermost electron and the nucleus? What will be our answer? Infinite. There are actually infinite orbits. There are infinite orbits around which the electrons can revolve around the nucleus. So how many orbits are there theoretically? There are infinite number of orbits. But what did Bohr say? Bohr's, okay, he said that electrons can revolve around the nucleus only in certain circular fixed orbits. So any orbit is not possible according to Bohr. Although there are infinite number of orbits, okay, according to Bohr's theory, he said that an electron can revolve, okay, around, an electron can revolve around the nucleus in certain circular, only in certain circular fixed orbits. Okay, so any orbit is not possible. So the electrons, yes, they revolve around the nucleus, but only in certain circular fixed orbits. So he fixed the orbits. Here Bohr, what did he do? He fixed the orbits around which the electron can revolve around the nucleus. Fine. So the thing is that out of infinite number of orbits, Bohr, he said that the electrons can revolve around the nucleus only in certain circular fixed orbits. Okay. And number two, as long as an electron, okay, the second postulate was as long as an electron revolves around these fixed orbits, it does not radiate energy. It's a very, 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 very important point, right? Okay. So what was the main drawback of Rutherford's model? According to the main drawback of Rutherford's model was that, and okay, so as an electron revolves around the nucleus, it continuously emits energy. Okay, so ultimately the electron will collide with the nucleus. But here Bohr, he said that when an electron revolves around these fixed orbits, fixed circular orbit, it does not radiate energy. That is why these circular orbits are also known as here stationary states. These are also known as here stationary states. So why are they known as stationary states? Because the energy of the electron remains constant. It does not radiate any energy. Okay. So third point. Now, very important. Each orbit is associated with so you can write this point. You can write these points. So each circular orbit is associated with a definite amount of energy. Okay, so these circular orbits, they are associated with a definite amount of energy. Okay, so that is why these circular orbits, they are also known as your energy levels. These are also known as your energy levels. So these circular orbits are known by different names. They are known as your energy levels. Why? Because each orbit is associated with a definite amount of energy. These are also known as your stationary states. Why? Because the electron does not radiate any energy when it revolves around a circular orbit. So that's why they are known by different names. Okay. And what is the formula by which we calculate the energy of each of these orbits? So remember, the formula is E N. N stands for orbit. So if E1 stands for first orbit, E2 stands for your second orbit, okay, and so on. Okay. So En equals to, what is the formula? Minus 2 pi square m e to the power 4 divided by n square h square into z square. So this is the formula for calculating the energy of the orbit. Okay. So this is the formula. So En equals to minus 2 pi square m e to the power 4 n square h square into z square. Now, so this is the formula with the help of which we can calculate the energy of this orbit. Okay. Now, what does this n denote? These n denotes the number of shells. So n equals to 1 means we are talking about first shell, and this energy level is known as a ground state. It is known as a ground state. Okay, n equals to 1 means ground state, ground energy level. So n equals to 2, we call this as a first excited state. Okay, so what does this n denote? N denote the number of orbits. So first orbit, this is your second orbit, this is your third orbit, and similarly we have other orbits as well. We can draw other orbits as well. So this is the fourth orbit, so this is the fifth orbit. Okay, so what are we doing? We are drawing the number of orbits. So this is n equals to 4, this is n equals to 5, and so on. The first orbit is also known as a ground state, and the second orbit is also known as the first excited state. Third orbit is known as the second excited state, and so on. Okay, so n denotes the number of orbits. What is this h? What is this h? We have done it before. What is this h denote? Planck's constant. H denotes the Planck's constant. Okay, we know the value. What is this pi? Pi is a constant. What is this m? Mass of electron. What is this e? Charge of electron. And what is this z? Z denotes your atomic number. Z denotes your atomic number. And for hydrogen atom, what is the value of Z? What is the value of Z? 1. For hydrogen atom, Z का value 1 हो जाए. So all of the things are known. Pi is known, the value of mass of electron is known, the value of charge of electron is known, the value of Planck's constant is known. So if you substitute all these values, then the value of En will be equal to, so write down the values, it will be equal to minus 2.18, yes, into 10 power minus 18 joule n square. Okay, so this is for hydrogen atom. For hydrogen atom, the value of Z will be equal to 1. So where does this value come from? After substituting the value pi m e h. Okay, so what is the unit? Remember, the unit is joule. The unit is joule per atom. Joule per atom. Okay, or En will be equal to minus 1312 kilojoule per mole unit by n square. Remember, the unit are different. The unit are different. Okay, kilojoule per mole. Okay, or yes, yes, yes. Please tell me. Yes, tell me.
Sir, why are we taking that minus 2 sign?
Okay, I'm explaining. I'm coming to that point. Okay, I'll just explain it. First, let us discuss this. Okay. So now, देखो ये this just like a story. We need to just study this like a story. So क्या बोला Bohr's ने? Bohr's first told that out of the infinite number of orbits, Bohr said that the electron can revolve around the nucleus only in certain circular fixed orbits. It cannot revolve around the nucleus in any orbit. Rather, it can revolve around the nucleus only in certain circular fixed orbits. Number one. He also said that as long as the electron revolves around the circular orbits, it does not radiate energy. That is why these are known as here stationary states. Number three, each orbit is associated with a definite amount of energy. Okay, each orbit is associated with a definite amount of energy. Okay, and what is the equation which gives us the energy? Minus 2 pi square m e to the power 4 n square h square into z square. This is the expression. Now all other constants are known, pi, m, e, h. If I put down the values, the energy is given by this minus 2.18 into 10 power minus 18. So where did this z go? For hydrogen atom, z equals to 1. Only for hydrogen atom, eh? Only for hydrogen atom. For lithium, yes, z का value कितना होगा? Hydrogen, helium, lithium. Z का value 3 होगा lithium के लिए, helium के लिए 2 होगा. Only for hydrogen the value of Z will be 1. So the units are different. This is in joule per atom. You need to remember this is in kilojoule per mole. This is in electron volt per atom. Okay, so these are the expression for energy. These are the expression for energy. Okay. Now the question comes, why this negative value? Why this negative value? Why this negative value? Okay, so let us see. So I'll just rub this first point. Okay. So why this negative value? Okay. Now, what is the energy of the electron? What is the energy of the electron when it is at infinite orbit? When it is infinitely far away from the nucleus? Well, what is the value of n? Infinity. Now you put down the value of n infinity, कोई भी equation में, what is the value of En then? क्या आएगा? At infinite orbit, say यहाँ पर nucleus है तो the electron is at infinite energy level, n equals to infinity में electron है. The electron is at infinite energy level. Okay. So then what will happen to the, what is the expression for energy then? What is the expression for energy? Minus 2.18 into 10 power minus 18 divided by infinity square. Anything divided by infinity is what? Zero. Zero, zero, zero. So remember, when an electron is at infinite distance from the nucleus, the value of energy is equal to zero. Okay, the value of energy is equal to zero. Got it? Now, iska energy zero. When is the energy zero? When is the energy zero? When the electron is at infinite distance. Now, in order to bring an electron from infinity, okay, closer towards the nucleus, what are we trying to do? We are trying to bring this electron closer towards the nucleus, right? So in order to bring the electron closer to the nucleus, some work must be done. Okay, so in order to bring this electron closer to the nucleus, some work must be done. And if we perform work, what will happen to the energy? It will increase or decrease? What will happen to the energy if we perform work?
Increase.
हाँ? तुम काम करोगे तुम्हारा एनर्जी बढ़ता जाएगा ना, इट विल डिक्रीज.
Decrease.
नहीं तो मैं पूरा दिन काम ही करता रहूंगा. ठीक है, द एनर्जी विल डिक्रीज. ऑलरेडी एनर्जी जीरो था. Electron, you are bringing the electron closer to the nucleus means some energy will be used up. So what will happen to the energy again? What will happen to the energy? जीरो से भी कम होगा तो एनर्जी का वैल्यू किस में आएगा?
Negative.
Negative. So this is the concept of negative energy. So don't worry, this is given in your book. So I'm just trying to explain you When the electron is at infinite energy level, the energy of the electron is 0. Now, in order to bring the electron closer to the nucleus, some work must be done. Okay, some work must be done. So work must be done means at the expense of some energy. So the energy decreases when we bring the electron closer to the nucleus. So since the energy decreases, in the expression of energy we have a negative. क्योंकि energy already 0 है, इससे भी decrease होगा तो तुम्हारा obviously negative में आएगा. Okay. So this is the explanation. Eh? Okay, this is the explanation. So I think you have understood the explanation. Okay, so it's given in your book. Don't you worry. Okay. Now, so please remember this expression. Right? Okay. So this was the third postulate. Number fourth postulate. As long as an electron revolves around these circular orbits. So we have written this already. As long as an electron revolves around these circular orbits, what it does it radiate energy? No, it does not radiate energy. Okay, so I'm not going to write it down again. Now, what will happen? What did we write just now? So as long as an electron revolves around these circular orbits, it does not radiate any energy. Now you just do it by yourself. You do it by yourself. Okay. What is the value of E1 for hydrogen atom? मतलब energy of first orbit क्या होगा? What is the energy of first orbit? कितना होगा? चलो in joule per atom. What is the value? What is the expression? Minus 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 by n square. Now what is the value of n we are going to put?
1.
1. So 1 square. So what is the value of energy minus 2.18 into
Minus
10 to the power minus 18. Unit is joule per atom. Fine. E2 कितना होगा E2? Tell me. Minus 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 divided by
4.
divided by 2 square 4. कितना आएगा ये? 4 5 are 20. 4 4 are 16. Minus 5.545 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule per atom. Similarly, E3 we can calculate. Okay, so E3 का value calculate करो तो कितना आएगा? Divided by 9. Minus 0.92 is 18, 19, 20, 21. 9 4 is 36. इतना आएगा? ऐसा आएगा? ना?
Yes, sir.
इतना ही आएगा. Okay, now you just compare the values. You just compare the values. So which energy level is associated with the least amount of energy? Which has the least amount of energy? So it's a minus out here. Which has the least amount of energy?
So minus 2.18 into
Yes,
10.
obviously. So what is the order of energy level? Very good. E1 has the least energy, followed by E2, followed by E3. So this will be the trend. This will be the trend. This is going to be the trend. That means as we move away from the nucleus, the energy values goes on increasing. As we move away from the nucleus, the energy will go on increasing. So which orbit has the least energy? Which orbit has the least energy? Well, the first, second, third, which orbit has the least energy?
Third.
First. Third.
Yes. I heard third, I heard first. Oh.
Third.
ना देखो ना कंपेयर करो ना यार किसका सबसे कम एनर्जी है फर्स्ट का ये तो लिखा ही है हम लोग ने दैट इज व्हाई this first orbit is known as your ground state. It has the least energy. And as we move away, very important point, as we move away from the nucleus, the energy levels, the energy values goes on increasing. Okay, so as we move away from the nucleus, the energy goes on increasing. Okay, so यहाँ पर if the electron is in the first orbit, इसका energy सबसे कम होगा. Got it? Second orbit में इसका energy ज्यादा होगा, third orbit का और ज्यादा होगा, fourth का और ज्यादा, fifth का और ज्यादा. Now see, I'll ask you a very simple question. Since you have done this in your school, huh? Now say, suppose an electron is in the first orbit. First orbit का energy सबसे कम है. Now what will happen if I supply energy to this atom? What will happen to this electron? If I supply energy in the form of heat, chalo, what do you think will happen to the electron? मान लो electron is in the first orbit. Usually it is in the first orbit. If I supply energy, what will happen to this electron? Just tell me, what will happen to this electron?
So the electrons
It will come out.
of that orbit.
Okay, now on gaining energy, इसका तो energy ज़्यादा होगा. On gaining energy, these electrons will be promoted to higher energy level. That means we say the electrons, they get excited. Excited means they jump to higher energy level. So when do they jump to higher energy level? On gaining energy, the electrons jump from the lower energy level to the higher energy level, or they get excited to the higher energy level. Okay, so on gaining energy, the electrons, what will happen? Gets excited. The electrons gets excited to a higher energy level. It gets excited to higher energy level. Okay, got it? So as supply energy, the electrons will get excited to higher energy level. Kitna higher energy level में जाएगा? That depends upon the amount of energy it has absorbed. If it absorbs a huge amount of energy, it will jump to higher energy level. If it absorbs a little amount of energy, it will jump to less higher energy level. Okay, so क्या है? What is the concept? On gaining energy, the electrons will jump from lower to high energy level. Now similarly, now tell me, what will happen when an electron returns from higher to lower energy level? What will happen? What do you think will happen?
It will lose.
Yes. Now energy is emitted when an electron moves from what? Higher to lower energy level. So very important point. So now till we don't supply energy, this electron will continue to revolve around this circular orbit. But as soon as we supply energy, the electron gets excited to higher energy level. And when it jumps from the higher to the lower energy level, what will happen? It will emit energy, it will emit radiation. Okay, and the amount of energy emitted or the amount of energy absorbed, okay, it depends. So what is the amount of energy absorbed? Delta E is equal to H mu. Again, this is the amount of energy absorbed, or in terms of lambda, it's C by lambda. So we have done this. I'm not going to tell you again. So the relation between mu and lambda is this. Okay, so how much in order to jump from N1 to N4, how much of energy must be absorbed? It depends. Okay, the difference of energy. Okay, this is the difference. If it absorbs this much of energy, it will jump from first to fourth. If it absorbs this much of energy, then it will jump from first to third and so on. Okay, so let us keep it very simple. When it absorbs energy, it jumps from lower to higher. And when it moves from higher to lower, it will emit the same amount of energy. Okay, so the electron, there can be a transition of electron from one orbit to another orbit. Got it? Okay. Now, Fine. So this I'm drawing. Hey, these all these things you need to remember. These, hey, all these things you need to remember. Hey, expression and all. Fine. So this was an important point. This was an important point. So I'll come back to this point once more. Now, so with the help of this expression of energy, we can calculate the energy of any single electron system of any orbit. Okay. Now, next point. Now, what type of circular orbits are possible? What type of circular orbits are possible? So, according to Bohr, only those circular orbits are possible where, okay, only those circular orbits are possible where, only those circular orbits are possible where the angular momentum, is an integral multiple of h by 2 pi. So try to understand this again. Eh? So according to Bohr, how did he fix this circular orbits? He said that only certain circular orbits are possible. So now the question comes, how did he fix the circular orbits? Okay, so now what is the momentum in physics? How do you define a momentum? How do you define a momentum in physics? What is the formula for momentum?
Mass into velocity.
Yes, very good. What is momentum? Yes, mass into velocity. So when the particle is moving along a straight line, okay, with some velocity, having some mass, it is known as a linear momentum. But here the electron is moving in circular orbits. Now, when the particle is moving in circular orbits, okay, the momentum is known as a angular momentum. It is known as a angular momentum. So what is the formula of angular momentum? Anyone? Yes? What is the formula of angular momentum? Mass into velocity multiplied by radius. This multiplied by radius. Okay. Now, according to Bohr, so now this is going to be very interesting. Now, according to Bohr, so only those circular orbits are possible where the angular momentum is an integral multiple of h by 2 pi, where n is an integer. N can be 1, n can be 2, n can be 3, etc., etc. Okay, fine. Now tell me.
Sir,
Yes. So how did you fix the circular orbits? Now, if the angular momentum of the electron is 1h by 2 pi, that circular orbit is possible. If the angular momentum of the electron is 2h by 2 pi, then that orbit is possible. But man lo, if the angular momentum of the electron is 1.5 h by 2 pi, is that circular orbit possible? Man lo, if an electron is revolving around the nucleus, electron revolve ho raha hai, and if the angular momentum of that electron is say 1.5 h by 2 pi, is that circular orbit possible? No.
sir.
No,
So
sir.
Bohr said that only those circular orbits are possible where the angular momentum of the electron is an integral multiple of h by 2 pi. That means the angular momentum should either be 1h by 2 pi or 2h by 2 pi or 3h by 3 pi and so on. So in this way he fixed the circular orbits. In this way he fixed the circular orbits. Now from this formula we can also calculate the radius. Okay, we can also calculate the radius. How do we calculate the radius? What is the formula for calculating the radius? So remember, Rn is equal to 0.529 into n square by z square Armstrong. So this is the formula for calculating the radius. So n square by Z, not Z square, sorry, N square by Z. This is the formula for calculating the radius. So again, what is Z out here? What is Z? So here I have omitted Z for hydrogen atom. Formula में Z भी है यहाँ पर. Okay, so it will be better if I write in Z square क्योंकि confusion हो जाएगा थोड़ा सा. सब में Z square है. हाइड्रोजन एटम के लिए ये omit होगा. Now what is the radius of first orbit for hydrogen atom? What is the radius of first orbit for hydrogen atom? For hydrogen atom, what is the radius of first orbit?
29.
Yes, 0.529 angstrom. What is the radius of second orbit then? For hydrogen atom, obviously. कितना होगा? 0.529 into 4
Yes, sir.
angstrom and so on. Okay. So with the help of Bohr's theory, we can calculate the radius, we can calculate the energy as well. We can calculate the energy, we can calculate the radius as well.
2.156.
Okay, so is this Bohr's theory understood? Is it understood? Now tell me, if this is understood, then I'll quickly move towards the next topic. Okay? Successfully explain the hydrogen spectrum. देखो. Explanation of hydrogen spectrum. Okay, now I'm going to show the orbit, so don't get confused. Okay, so suppose this is the first energy level. Okay, this is the second energy level, this is the third energy level, this is the fourth energy level, this is the fifth energy level, like this. So these are the energy levels. Energy, what are energy levels? Yes, what do you understand by energy levels now? Okay, so earlier I drew the orbits as this. Okay, these are the energy levels. This is the first energy, second and third. Now I'm just trying to draw the energy levels in a horizontal way. So this is the first energy level, this is the second energy level, this is the third energy level, this is the fourth energy level, and this is the fifth energy level. And normally, where do the electron reside? Where do the electron stay? The electron stays in the ground state. The electron always stays in the ground state. Now, on supplying energy, what will happen? On supplying energy, what will happen to the electron? Yes, tell me.
It will proceed to the outer.
Very good. On supplying energy, the electron gets excited from lower to what? It gets excited from lower to higher energy level. So on supplying energy, the electron, it gets excited from lower to higher energy level. But do you think the electron can stay in the higher energy level all the time? Do you think the electron can stay in the higher energy level? No.
Yes,
The electron must return to the ground state. It must return to the ground state. Okay, so the electron must return to the ground state. How does it return to the ground state? By emitting radiation. Okay, now see, now just look very carefully. Suppose the electron gets excited to the fifth energy level. Okay, now how many ways are there in which the electron can return from the fifth energy level to the first energy level? How many ways are there? Let us see. Suppose if I tell you, you are in a building, you are in the 10th floor, okay, you want to return to the ground floor in a lift. There are how many ways in which you can return to the ground floor in a lift? How many ways are there? क्या करोगे? Number
Only
one,
one.
simple way, I'll just touch 0, you'll return to the ground floor. Number one way. But there are other ways as well. Say, तुम बोलोगे, you can tell me, so I don't want to return directly. I'll go to the 5th floor first. You'll first press 5. Then 5th floor, sir, you'll say, sir, I don't want to go to the ground floor. I'll go from 5th to 3rd. You'll again place 3. And 3rd, say you can go to the ground floor. There are various possibilities now. There are various ways. Am I correct? There are
Yes, sir.
various ways in which you can return from 10th floor to ground floor. Directly ground floor में एक ही बार में आ सके, नहीं तो फिर 9th floor में आओगे, फिर 8th floor में, फिर 7th floor में, ऐसा करके भी आ सकते हो. Now let us see the possibilities by which the electron can return from the 5th energy level to the 1st energy level. Let us see the possibilities. Okay. So one possibility is this electron can directly return from 5th to 1st. This is one possibility. What is the other possibility? From 5th energy level, it can return to the 4th energy level, a 2nd energy level like this. There is another possibility. Or from the 5th, it can come to the 3rd energy level. Yes. Or from the 5th, it can come to the 4th energy level. So I'm just drawing the possibilities. Right? Now, what can happen? Again, from 4th, electron 4th mein aaya to, from the 4th, it can come to the 1st energy level like this. What are the other possibilities? From the 4th, can it come to the 2nd? Yes, it can
Yes,
come.
sir.
Or from the 4th, it can come to the 3rd. I'm just drawing the possibilities. Now, from the 3rd, it can directly come to the 1st. Or from the 3rd, it can come to the 2nd like this. And ultimately, from the 2nd, it can come to the 1st energy level like this. Okay? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, listen very carefully. What were the series? What were the series? What were the series? What were the series? Lyman series. Chalo, chalo, bolo, bolo. What was the series? Balmer series, yes. Paschen
Paschen.
series, then bracket series, then fund. Na? So I told you I'll be explaining this N1 and N2 ka funda. So N1, N2. What was the value of N1 for Lyman series? Tell me. N1 was a constant. Chalo, chalo, batao. Very good. 1. Balmer, 2. Paschen, 3. Bracket, 4, and so on, right? And the value of N2 was 2, 3, 4, etc. यहाँ पर था 3, 4, 5, etc. यहाँ पर था 4, 5, 6. Okay, greater than 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. 6, 7, 8, etc. So this was the value of N1 and N2. These were the value of N1 and N2. This was the value of N1 and N2. Okay, so I told you I'll be explaining you. Now, what is this N1 and N2? Now see, when an electron returns from any higher energy level, so when an electron returns from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, any higher energy level to 1st energy level, we get lines corresponding to Lyman series. We get lines corresponding to Lyman series. So N1 denotes the lower energy level to which the electron will return, and N2 denotes the higher energy level from which the electron will be returning back. When an electron returns from any higher energy level to 2nd energy level, we get lines corresponding to Balmer series. When an electron returns from any higher energy level to 3rd energy level, we get lines corresponding to Paschen series. When an electron returns from any higher energy level to 4th energy level, we get lines corresponding to bracket series. When an electron returns from any higher energy level to 5th energy level, we get lines corresponding to Fermi series. So got it? So when do we get lines corresponding to Lyman series? Again, tell me. When do we get lines corresponding to Lyman series? When an electron returns from any higher energy level to 1st energy level. Got it? Now let us again observe this diagram. Now an electron is returning to the first energy level from how many higher energy levels? कितना higher energy level से electron is returning to the first energy level? Yes, fourth, fifth से first में return हो रहा है, fourth से first में return हो रहा है, third से first में return हो रहा है, second से first में return हो रहा है. So an electron is returning to the first energy level from second, third, fourth and fifth energy level. So how many lines do we get in Lyman series? How many lines are we getting? Each of these transition will correspond to a particular line. So yes, in the Lyman series, in this particular diagram, Lyman series mein how many lines are we getting? 4 lines. Balmer series mein how many lines are we getting? When an electron returns from any higher energy level to second energy level mein to 3 return ho raha hai. There are 3 ways. So how many lines do we get? 3 lines. Then Paschen series में
2.
Paschen series में third energy level में 2 2. Then bracket में 1. Fourth energy level में एक ही line, एक ही return, एक ही possibility. So total how many lines do we get? 10 lines.
Yes, sir.
So hydrogen जो spectrum में corresponding to the transition from fifth to first energy level, we get 10 lines. See, we get how many lines? We get 10. So now this Bohr's theory could successfully explain the occurrence of this hydrogen spectrum. So when do we get a hydrogen spectrum? When an electron returns from a higher energy level to lower energy level, okay, we get hydrogens, we get lines corresponding to different series. When it returns to the first energy level, we get lines corresponding to Lyman. To second, we get lines corresponding to Balmer and so on. Now, there is a formula by which we can calculate the total number of lines. ये तो मैंने किया theoretically. So total lines is equal to so यहाँ पर कितना आ रहा है तुम्हारा? So N2 minus N1, 5 minus 1, 4. Just a moment. So just write down total lines in hydrogen spectrum. What is it? Okay. So just a minute. Just a minute. Let me calculate. Okay, just let me calculate. N2 minus delta N 5 minus 1 4. So there is a formula we need to derive. Okay, chalo. So I'm giving you the formula. So I think till here it's okay. I think it's okay till here.
Yes, sir.
Is it understood? So this is the formula. Okay, so here the electron is returning from which high energy level? What is the value of N out here? It's returning from fifth energy level. So 5 minus 1 is 4. 5 4s are 20 divided by 2 is 10. So this is the formula for calculating the number of lines. Okay, this is the formula for calculating the number of lines. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So now Bohr's theory very well explains the occurrence of this hydrogen spectrum. Now one very famous question. Although hydrogen contains one electron, hydrogen is a single electron system. What is the atomic number of hydrogen? 1. But why do we get so many lines in hydrogen spectrum? ना, हाइड्रोजन का तो एक ही इलेक्ट्रॉन है. But why do we get so many lines in hydrogen spectrum? Number one is, okay, so although hydrogen is a single electron system, why so many lines are obtained? Reason is that a sample of hydrogen gas contains many atoms of hydrogen. We never carry out the experiment with a single atom. When we excite, when we supply energy to millions of hydrogen atoms. And if we consider a single electron, then one electron can return from the ground state to the excited state to the ground state in a number of ways. देखो ना, यहाँ पर तो एक ही तो इलेक्ट्रॉन था. Fifth orbit में there was a single electron. Yes, we are consider a single electron in the fifth orbit. So a single electron can return from the excited state to the ground state in a number of ways, thereby giving lines corresponding to different series. Even if we consider a single electron, then that single electron can return from the excited state to the ground state in a number of ways like this, thereby giving lines corresponding to different series. Now it's very well understood what is this N1 and N2. So the greatest success of Bohr's theory was the explanation of hydrogen spectrum. Okay, fine. Is it understood now?
Yes.
Equally spaced. Right? Okay, so the maximum difference of energy is between second and third. And as we move away from the nucleus, the energy difference of the successive energy levels goes on decreasing. It goes on decreasing. So here I would like to discuss a few concepts out here. Okay, so I'm rubbing this. So if you have any problem in understanding this concept, please let me know, because by far this is the most important topic we are discussing in this particular chapter. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to discuss one question. So I think this should make it clear. Okay, so I think we have written this question as I suppose. I think you have written this question. Calculate the wave number for the longest wavelength and shortest wavelength transition in the visible region Now see, I'm going to discuss very important concepts out here. So I could have given you the direct formula, but this I chose to explain you, okay, because obviously you need to have a clear concept. So let us analyze this problem. In fact, it's a very simple problem. If I give you the formula, ratta maroge to it's very simple. But lekin ratta nahi marenge hum log, theek hai? So calculate the wave number for the longest wavelength and shortest wavelength transition in the visible region of hydrogen spectrum. Visible region means कौन सा series का बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग? We are talking about which series? Which series comes under visible region? Out of many Lyman series, Balmer series, which series comes in the visible region? चलो चलो, tell me. Lyman series कौन सा series में, कौन सा region में आएगा? Ultraviolet. Balmer series, it comes under which region? Don't forget, eh? So we are talking about Balmer series. Visible region means we are talking about Balmer series. So what is the formula for calculating the wave number? Mu bar is equal to 109. Remember formula? 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2. Now we'll derive this formula, don't worry. This was the formula. Okay.
Okay, so
So calculate the wave number for the longest and shortest wavelength. SHORTEST, shortest. Now see, try to understand. Say we have an electron. Now a visible region means, yes, what is the value of N1 out here? Balmer series के लिए, what is the value of N1? 2. N1 का value 2 है, right? So I'm just trying to explain you out here. Fine. So now I'll draw the energy levels. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, listen very carefully. How are wavelength and energy related? Delta E is equal to h mu h c by lambda. Okay. So when an electron returns from any higher energy to lower energy level, it will emit what amount of energy? It will emit this much amount of energy. Okay. Okay. So what is delta E? Delta E is the difference of energy between the successive energy levels. Okay. So now you tell me, how are wavelength and energy related? How are they related?
Inversely proportional.
Inversely proportional. They are inversely proportional. They are inversely proportional. Okay. So longest wavelength, lambda maximum means delta E should be what? Delta E should be what? Delta E should be minimum. And in this case, what is delta E? Delta E क्या है? An electron is returning to which energy level? An electron is returning to which energy level? Balmer series means electron कहाँ पर return हो रहा है? कौन सा lines में return हो रहा है? What is the value of N1? Second energy में return हो रहा है. So delta E minimum होना चाहिए means what should be the value of N2? चलो बता दो. What should be the value of N2? Delta E minimum क्या होगा? An electron is returning out here. Eh? An electron should return out here. And while returning, if lambda maximum के लिए तो delta E minimum होना चाहिए. Delta E minimum कौन सा energy level के बीच में है? Between N2 and between N equals to 2 and tell me. देखो. Here we are supposed to calculate longest wavelength. ठीक है? Longest wavelength means the transition should involve the minimum energy difference. Hey, lambda max के लिए the transition should involve minimum energy difference. So minimum energy difference कौन सा orbit के बीच में है? Between n equals to 2 and between which? 4th and 2 or 3rd and 2 or 5th and 2?
5th and 2.
Huh?
5th and 2.
देखो simple. If an electron moves from 5th to suppose 2nd, ये भी हो सकता है. An electron can return from this to this, or an electron can return from this to this. In all the three cases, we'll get lines corresponding to Balmer series. But we know lambda max के लिए delta E minimum होना चाहिए. Delta E minimum कौन सा बीच में है? देखो ना. This is the energy of first orbit. This is the energy of second, third, fourth, fifth. So delta E minimum कौन सा transition के बीच में होगा? No, you didn't get my point. You didn't get my point. This is the energy. This is the energy of 5th orbit, 4th orbit, 3rd orbit, 2nd orbit, right? Now, when an electron returns from 5th to 2nd, what is the value of delta E? Delta E equals to E5 minus E2. यहाँ तो एनर्जी डिफरेंस ज्यादा है ना. 2nd और 5th के बीच में एनर्जी डिफरेंस बहुत ज्यादा है. Now the energy difference between 2nd and 4th is quite small as compared to this, and the energy difference between 2nd and 3rd is very small. Right? So delta E means difference in energy. देखो ना, difference in energy ज्यादा है यहाँ पर. यहाँ पर डिफरेंस एनर्जी कम है, यहाँ पर सबसे कम है। तो सबसे कम एनर्जी डिफरेंस कौन कौन सा ट्रांजिशन में होगा?
3 and
सबसे
3 and 2.
between 3 and 2.
3 and
That
2.
means in this case the electron will have to return from which energy level? From the third energy level to the second energy level. So देखो ऐसा सोचना पड़ेगा हम लोगों को, नहीं तो तुम कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे एग्जाम में। इफ यू मेमोराइज lambda max means delta E, lambda max means delta E, how are they related? First inversely, lambda maximum means delta E minimum. Delta E minimum कब होगा? Delta E minimum means the energy difference should be very small. Energy difference will be small between obviously second and third. क्यों मैं second energy level ही consider कर रहा हूँ? Because I am talking about visible region, Balmer series. N1 का value fix है, so minimum energy difference तो होगा between third and second. Fourth और second का तो energy difference काफी ज्यादा होगा, ठीक है? So now how will you calculate lambda max? Lambda max के लिए क्या करोगे? N1 का value 2 लोगे, N2 का value 3 लोगे. Similarly, lambda minimum, you tell me this, lambda E minimum के लिए ये maximum होना चाहिए. So maximum energy difference के लिए what should be the value of N2?
5 to 2.
Huh? Now the energy
5.
difference should be maximum energy difference होना चाहिए दो ऑर्बिट के बीच में. So maximum energy difference के लिए N2 का वैल्यू क्या होना चाहिए?
5.
5.
क्यों? सिक्स्थ ऑर्बिट मैंने तो खाली यहाँ 5th ऑर्बिट ही ड्रॉ की, सिक्स्थ ऑर्बिट नहीं होगा? होगा, क्यों नहीं होगा? 7th ऑर्बिट नहीं होगा? होगा. 8th ऑर्बिट होगा? Yes. What is the value? What should be the value of N2? The value of N2 should be infinity. So this is how you develop the concept. It's so nicely related. देखो ना, it's so nicely related. So whenever you need, अब तुम अब रट्टा मारने चाहते हो तो lambda max के लिए N2 minimum होना चाहिए, and lambda minimum के लिए N2 infinity होना चाहिए. बस इस तरीके से रट्टा मार सकते हैं. But this is the concept. This is the concept. Okay, so longest wavelength, चलो longest wavelength के लिए 1 by lambda. So यहाँ पर lambda max 1 by lambda max, longest wavelength के लिए 10967. से longest wavelength मतलब चलो N2 का वैल्यू तो 2 है, पता है क्योंकि बामर सीरीज है. So longest maximum wavelength के लिए smallest energy difference होना चाहिए. Smallest energy difference कौन कौन सा बीच में होगा? Sorry, this is N1 square 2 square. Okay, N1 का वैल्यू फिक्स है. Smallest energy difference होगा between second and third. So N2 का वैल्यू 3 square like this. So you'll get the answer. Lambda max मिलेगा. Lambda minimum के लिए यहाँ पर क्या लोगे? Infinity लोगे बस. Fine?
Yes,
Is
sir.
it understood now?
Yes, sir.